Hey, welcome guys. We got the Midnight team here at EthDenver. I think the first one, as far as a larger team, we're excited. We've had engineering, product, BD, executives, marketing, all participating this year, so it's been fun. I have Justin and Mauricio from our team. If you guys probably don't know them, so if you want to do a quick introduction, who you are and your role at Midnight.
I'm Justin. I'm one of the developers working on the node implementation at Midnight.
And I'm Mauricio. I'm head of product. I manage the product design, product management, technical writing, and the DevRel teams. And it's been just great week for us.
It has. We're getting towards the end of the week. I think we're maybe all a little bit drained on energy. So
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But I think, yeah, overall, you guys have been here before. EthDenver is coming into, I think, a maturation where this is the event to go to for the Ethereum community. So what's been your experience this year, maybe compared to other years, even in context with Midnight?
Yeah, I think I'm old. I get too tired. Main event seems, it's Sunday, and there's still attendance,
Yeah, it's been great.
significant attendance. Sunday, Saturday. And, but the amount of side events is just like I think it doubles every year. So crazy. We did have a couple of events that I attended with the Thai and the DNA House.
Yeah.
Great conversations. We had Charles come into the Thai breakfast event. Couple of panels on the DNA House event. Great conversations. Partnerships announced this week, like OpenZeppelin. I think it's just remarkable. So it is somewhere that we have to have a presence, and I'm glad we did this year the way we did, and hopefully we'll continue in the years to come, but it's a pretty significant evolution for us.
Awesome. Justin, from a developer standpoint, how have you found the event?
I was actually going to say something a lot like what Mauricio said.
Okay.
I noticed many side events this year, like way more than than I noticed previously. And I saw a few hacker houses, so I'd also wonder if there was like some similar growth in hacker houses at this sort of event. But yeah, those are probably the two main things that I've noticed.
Awesome. Yeah, I think multi-ecosystem too. I think that's one that I've seen kind of expand year after year. So even though this is the Ethereum community and the Midnight team obviously wanted to get introduced to the Ethereum ecosystem, it was great to connect with folks that we've talked to in the past. Ripple team was right across from us for our booth. We talked to the Polkadot team, and obviously they know about us from Substrate and their SDK. So overall, I think it's been great to kind of see a multi-ecosystem, and the regenerates here have been super welcoming of the Midnight brand and asking good questions. So first off, though, kind of go into some questions. Maurizio, if you don't mind, you've been talking at a lot of these side events, both and as well as your session here at EthDenver. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, please do. But based on maybe those that are partners or that maybe want to be partners, those that are just being introduced to Midnight, how have you been kind of explaining who we are and how we have an opportunity to maybe support those types of entities?
Yeah, I think we've been tapping a lot on the kind of core capabilities in our approach to privacy, because it's a very different approach. I mean, obviously people understand zero knowledge on the back of the rollups and scalability aspect, which is important. We're taking it to the privacy side more seriously, kind of honoring the origins of ZK and the way Midnight tackles that with the Kachina architecture, private state, on-chain state. This is something that is we haven't seen before. So in blockchain. So it's important that people are starting to realize what that entails and how that opens up selective disclosure capabilities that they can use. We had great enterprise interest this week. You wouldn't think that enterprises are attending EthDenver. They are.
Yeah.
And they've been asking questions, and obviously they have particularly different angles. They are regulated industries, so they have to pay attention to all of that. So it's interesting the type of questions we get. I think our story on the tokenomics, the way that we are approaching, the night generates dust, night being shielded, dust being a refillable, night being unshielded, and dust being a shielded resource that refills, it creates great economic incentive to just be in the ecosystem and use it, as opposed to be in the ecosystem and have to spend your assets. So the more in traditional chains, the more you use the chain, the less you own of it, which is counterintuitive if you think about it. And we just came to accept it as an industry. And I think Midnight changes that paradigm a little bit and makes people think about, what does it mean to own a chain? What does it mean to participate in governance? How do I use and maximize my assets? And these conversations yield great eyebrows, like the eyebrows like, oh, I didn't think it was possible. Yeah. So for us, it's interesting to test the feedback, test the thesis, test the feedback, and obviously get confirmation that it's the right path is the most important thing.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think that message is resonating quite a bit because we've had people come by the booth all week asking, hey, I've heard a little bit about this. People told me to stop by. There's some great use cases. Sounds like it might be alignment. And, obviously, being at presence there and sharing that message, people want to learn more. And so we're excited to continue to bring that message, whether it's here or, digital channels or future events as well. So.
Yeah, one thing that I think resonates, especially because we are at an Ethereum community event, is the fact that we're reaching out to the communities, other chains, other tribes, and trying to just unify in the sense that Midnight wants to take privacy to all of Web3, regardless of where you're playing. So there is a huge vision towards hybrid apps and multi-chain signatures to enable that, and this is starting to become apparent in our conversations and being very welcome. I don't think people realize that tribalism is just preventing growth. And I know that there are other interoperability plays there which are very important, and we aim to add to that.
Absolutely. So, Mauricio's been at a bunch of different events, but as well, Justin, you were here very, very early this week getting ready for the Buildathon and working with hackers as part of that participation. We had a couple of tracks, and so can you kind of talk about what your experience is like, how you're presenting Midnight as a new L1 blockchain to and privacy technology to these hackers so that they can be prepared and maybe bring in some new ideas? What's been the consensus there for you?
Yeah, sounds good. So it's been pretty interesting. I think a lot of hackers who are here are very experienced Web3 developers. Yeah. And so they have a lot of intuition for things like privacy and things like a kind of dual off-chain state and on-chain public state kind of click for them. And some of them come with some really interesting ideas, like we had some folks who were interested in doing things with media, like certain different types of files, like being able to prove different things about file metadata, and then reason about some of these properties on-chain or something like this. There was a lot of interest in agents.
Okay.
I think
that's fair.
Many, a lot of hackers, throughout the space, not necessarily looking for our bounties, everybody's working on agents.
Everybody's doing something with AI agents,
yeah. So I talked a lot with how people could potentially integrate Midnight with an agent. This is how you would define an action in this framework, and then you could potentially define this notion of a transaction. This is what it means to transact on Midnight, and then so you can have your agent talk to Midnight in that way. So a few conversations around that, but some folks were interested in chasing some bounties. Some folks were interested in the DID bounty.
DID bounties, okay.
Yeah, implementing existing standards like the ERC ones on Midnight or their equivalents. And we had a good submission there.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's kind of the high level.
Yeah, I want you to, as far as the submissions, why don't you kind of talk about a little bit more around those particular use cases? What, with those bounties, what was of interest of the hackers to actually build for this event?
Yeah, so we had a couple of submissions across all the bounties. A few of them kind of were pretty interesting. I think there was a pretty good submission for implementing the standards. I kind of hinted at that earlier. Yeah, in implementing an existing Ethereum standard.
Okay.
And yeah, I think we had some other submissions that we're trying to get to some of the other bounties.
Okay.
But that was probably one of the ones that stood out.
Okay. Obviously, and you just got done judging. Do you want to give a clue on maybe the types of projects that might be close to winning, or is that going to be down the line here tomorrow? Should viewers wait?
I think maybe viewers can wait.
Okay.
Might be, let's keep that one a surprise.
I do want to shout out to Stav or Davrel, who's was able to bang an integration between Midnight and Our Wave this weekend. So Stav, more of that community, more of that. Like, we want to break these barriers, just bring them on, and let's just spread privacy, because it's a digital human right.
This one will help Midnight also.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. We're looking for benefits for all. So yeah. It's the type of, just the spark of creativity that this type of event just yields.
Yeah, so honestly, it's a good segue. So, Mauricio, you've been talking to these partners. We talked about a big announcement this week around partnering with OpenZeppelin, a big developer tooling entity for the Ethereum community. So, what are some of the things that when we come to these ecosystem events and future potential ecosystems that we're going to work with? Can you share what type of resources and partnerships that you're kind of looking for? What type of, after we get to those, what kind of projects you're hoping that the developers can from those ecosystems kind of bring over to Midnight?
Yeah, so one thing to kind of give people context is right now we're closed source, right?
Right.
And we're gradually opening the repos, and there's going to be an actual open source program ahead of mainnet. But we are also open for contributions. So if you're a partner on Midnight on the partnerships program, we're getting contributions from already 25 partners, right? So it's important to us that we continue to grow that. Maybe baby steps, training wheels, call it what you will, but I think we're getting very mature. The process is improving of curating those contributions and making sure that they make it to the repo and get the right highlights. But in terms of interest, I think we're building for builders. So we're very excited about OpenZeppelin because of the tooling, right? They are superb. They've had trillions of dollars navigating and transacted on the smart contracts that their frameworks have created. And what best way to start a new chain that has this very distinct capabilities, if not with a partner like that, right? So it's beneficial to the Midnight ecosystem, to the Cardano ecosystem, to any other developers that are in other ecosystems and might want to transition to Midnight or add Midnight to their stack. This is going to be very interesting to see. We're early days on the partners, just announced it, but they have a track record. IOG has a large track record as well. I think we have a big convergence here, and yeah, it's just too exciting to I see that, again, I keep repeating myself, it is a privilege to work in Web3, and it is a privilege to do, we get to do this, so it doesn't, there's not a single day that I take this for granted.
Absolutely. Well, that's fantastic. I think, again, we've had a fantastic week here. We're excited about all the folks that wanted to learn more about Midnight. We're excited about the OpenZeppelin partnership and those resources that we can offer going forward. Otherwise, stay tuned. You'll see the Midnight brand at a lot of events across the world. You'll be hearing more around our Night token and our Glacier Drop token event. So stay tuned, and looking forward to potentially having mainnet launched in Q3. So a lot of things happening this year for the Midnight team. So thanks for joining. We thank the EthDenver Regenerates and all their hospitality this week. We look forward to talking to all the folks next time.
Hell yeah. LFG.
Go.
Thank you.